Okay, I'm using the larger foot model because even though the axis skeletons have pretty good detail on the foot and ankle, I just wanted a little bit more detail for this video. So the tibia and the fibula come down, they join together to form that mortise and tenon joint that articulates with the talus. It's called the talocrual joint. It is a hinge joint at the ankle. So all of the lateral motion from our foot comes from the actual foot rather than from that ankle joint. That just does plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. So the hind foot consists of the talus and the calcaneus. The calcaneus has this big tuberosity on the back where the gastrocnemius and the soleus attach through the Achilles tendon. It's called the calcaneal tuberosity. The joint between the talus and the calcaneus is called the subtalar joint. The midfoot is made up of the cuboid, which is just distal to the calcaneus, it articulates with that. The navicular, which articulates with the talus, and the cuneiforms, which are either called lateral, middle, and medial, and we'll look at the medial side in a second, or first, second, and third. I like first, second, and third. I think it's very clear. The first, second, and third metatarsals, the first, second, and third cuneiforms articulate with the first, second, and third metatarsals. The base of the metatarsals is proximal, and the head of the metatarsals is distal. The fourth and fifth base of the fourth and fifth metatarsals articulate with the cuboid. So when you go up to the heads of the metatarsals, those are sort of our toe knuckles, and you get the metatarsal phalangeal joints where the metatarsals articulate with the proximal phalanx of each toe. Okay, the great toe has two phalanges, proximal and distal. All of the other toes have proximal, middle, and distal. Okay, and all of those tiny little phalanges have a base proximally and a head distally. Okay, even the little distal ones have a base and a head. Okay, so I'm going to turn the foot around and we are going to look at the medial side. I'm actually using my smartphone stand as a foot stand here. So now we can see the medial side of the calcaneus, and we have this little structure here that's just inferior to the talus. It's called the sustentaculum tali, and I'm going to lift it up a little bit so you can see it. That is palpable on a person's foot, that sustentaculum tali, so that's pretty cool. You can see where the talus articulates with the navicular, and the navicular articulates with the first, second, and third cuneiforms. So the medial side of the foot has a lot of structure for the medial arch, and we talk about that a lot in the chapter. So hopefully this is helpful for finding those structures. In your lab manual, there are the foot structures listed, and the asterisk ones are easily palpable. Actually, almost everything in the foot is easily palpable, just because foot muscles are pretty flat, and by the time they get to the foot, they're pretty tendony. So it's really easy to palpate structures in the foot.